That's our work surface, but there's no grid. And down here at the bottom, it says metric, and I can already tell that. So I need to change it from metric. So I'm going to go up to Edit, User Environment, and just switch it to Imperial, very first thing. And I've got 3/8 of an inch CLM allowances as my standard, and then I'm going to click on the little save icon. You can always just click the X box, but it will make you save it anyway. So next to user environment, under edit, again, is customize, and we've got preferences and screen layout. I'm going to start with screen layout, and I want a grid. I don't need quick open. Do you see that toolbar down there? It's kind of taking up space, so I usually close it. You can leave it open. User input, that's the box that tells you what to do next. It's the computer's way of talking with you, so I like that one on. The information bar at the bottom is helpful because you can see the name of the piece and that it's Imperial and a number of other things. Then the icon bar has your piece list on it. You can't see them yet, but that's what that is. The prompt bar, I don't usually find helpful either. The status bar, you can tell that it says ready down there. I don't like it to disappear off the page, so I leave it there. Then rulers, that's up to you. And grid lines, I'm going to make mine dots, and it automatically comes up with 1 inch spacing, and I like 1 inch spacing. So I'm just going to say apply grid, and that works out really well for me. If you wanted to, you could do cross hairs instead, or lines. But I prefer the dots, so you get to choose what you want to do. I would leave these boxes unchecked. They're also down here, and I would rather not have them set to be on. So I just turn them on when I want them to. So that's everything. User input, info bar, icon bar, status bar, 1 inch spacing, dots, apply grid, and then say OK. All right, I'm hoping you've got me up in the corner of the screen and you have already opened the pattern design program that we're in. It's the one with the scissors. All right, so we did screen layout. I'm in edit, customize again. We did screen layout, and now I want to do preferences. And we're going to start with paths. And I'm going to make sure that I have a place to put things. I'm testing out the different computers, and this one doesn't have any names in it, so I'm going to just choose Data 90 and P-Notch. And I only have options for A1 ladies and different sizes, so I'm going to choose A1 ladies just so I have a rule table in there to hold the position. So the important thing is C drive Data 90 and add the other two. Okay, so I'm going to apply and save so that I don't have to do it again next time. It's still worth checking, however. While I'm here, I'm going to move over to General. Mine is under magnetic tolerance is set to 10, and I I would have fixed seam corners on. Display piece notes, I don't think we need. And, okay, so modify grade rules may come in handy. Fix seam corners, non-smoothing to ends, show seam warnings. And the quick open on this one is set to Accumark model, but you can make it Accumark piece, and then you can see all the pieces individually, and I think that's helpful for beginners. Then the default area is where you want it to, and the value mode, we're going to choose reset to cursor. So Accumark piece, default area, and reset to cursor in the drop-down boxes. Then under measure chart editor, auto save every 5 minutes, and I would say apply and save to that section as well. Then under display, on mine I have filled pieces, so I'll show you that. I'm going to check the box. I like fit pieces in work area. I don't like to show actual notch depths because then sometimes you can't see them. Orientation symbol is your grain line. You don't need that, but you do need show point and line information. So in the first box under display in piece, you have the first 3 filled pieces, symbols, and fit pieces in work area. Then in the next column, orientation symbol and show point and line information. Then in the drop-down boxes, under perimeter mode, you want clipped, and in internal pattern, you want dashed. If you leave it solid the way this one was, we'll get more into that in the future, but it will be really hard to tell what changes you plan to make. So change those to clipped and dashed, and then under piece information at the center, you want the name, and sometimes the size is printed wrong, so you can just leave that off too. All of our pieces that are set up in here are size 8. And apply and save. Now here's the fun one, is color. And you want to change your colors a little bit from what this one is. If you remember last time I highlighted parts, and when it was selected it was red. You want each of these to be distinctly different from each other because it's less confusing as you're working. So original, I've got black, highlighted, green is fine, but near, I don't want that to be black too, so I'm going to go in and change that to blue. If I want to, I can change the color of blue, play with the colors. It's just one of those nice, feel-good control of your environment things. And then modified, I'm going to make that one purple. And selected, I'm going to make it a little brighter. There. Alright, so I've got distinctly different colors, and you can push pause and play with that if you want to. Okay, then under fabric fill, you may not have noticed mine were partially opaque, so I'm going to bring some pieces in for you to see what's happening for this part. So I'm going to say apply and save and OK, and it's going to disappear, and I'm going to go up to file, open, and I will just bring in, you probably don't want to use any of the ones that are in this section. They came with the computer and they don't fit the dress form. So I'm going to go to the P drive again and to zero share. It's in model, so I'm going to have to switch to piece. And sometimes that will trip you up if you forget to look at where you're headed and how it's going to display. So in pieces, I'm going to open zero share, go all the way to the end again. And my skirt back and front, shift. And my bodice back and front, control. And open. So I drug my cursor with my left button pushed, and then push the left button again. And all the pieces are down here. And do you see how they're different than the ones I had last time? They're solid. And you can't see through the pieces. And when you're looking at them on top of each other, well, they're a little bit opaque. But I tend to like them a little more opaque than that. You can leave them this color. It's oak tag color. But we're going to go back up to Edit, Customize again, in Preferences and Color. And under Fabric Type, if you want to, you can change the color of your pieces. I like a shade that kind of goes with the background, but we won't do that. We'll use pink this time and say okay. So I'm going to say Apply. So they're all pink. And, oh, I was going to move them, but I can't. So you can see that this one is selected and it's outlined. And that's the highlighted color. And it doesn't look very green on that pink. So I'm going to move my opacity down. It's pink now, but I'm going to make it so that I can see through it better. And I like it in the 40s. This is something you get to choose, so choose something you like. So I'm going to say Apply, and you can see how much lighter that is. And they're easy to see. It's kind of fun to have pink. So these are all distinctly different, but now my modified is going to be really similar to my fabric type color, and I may need to change modified. I'm going to change it to yellow. Okay, and with this color, the green and the blue are going to be really similar, so I'm going to switch that to that shade of blue. Okay. These just need to be different colors, and they are automatically, so you'll probably be okay leaving those two the same. You could change your work area, the grid, you can change any of it, but I don't want my darts and my fullness to be the same color, so I'm going to change that one to blue. So now I have different. Okay, so play with that. And you can always change it again. Apply, save, and okay. So now as I hover, that's that pale green. And when I move them around, you can see them on top of each other and see through them. And I'm playing with my scroll roller. And I'm going to come over here in the middle at the end of the pieces and make them larger, or if I was going a different direction, but where you have your cursor when you use the roller bar is going to make a difference. Okay, I think that's a good video length.